what kind of content do we put out, Josh? How do we use this? How do we use our phone, turn it around, and film something that's going to actually get us opportunities to find great real estate deals?
Absolutely. So the way that I kind of lay this out, there's a couple different types of content that you can be putting out, and all of it's going to be centered around what you're an expert in, right? So there's some people out there that they're an expert in novations. There's some people out there that are expert in, like we work with a guy who's in Atlanta that he only does probate deals. He won't do any other types of deals, and he's a master at it. So every bit of video content he does is centered around probate deals, right? So obviously you're not going to be on camera talking about things that you're not an expert in and you can help service for your potential customer that's coming in. So the way that there's a couple of really low-hanging fruits, like I've seen people, Brett, that take they have this whole graph and then there's motivations and stuff like that of okay, well, you should talk about this, and then you lead them here. Honestly, the real hard facts about what to put out, and this is the number one reason why people don't move forward with doing this kind of stuff, is that they don't really know what to talk about per se. And you even said it when you were on your Facebook Lives. What do I talk about? So the first thing that I always tell people, especially if you are listening to Brent and you're talking to people, you're probably getting questions, right? So my definition of content marketing is literally answering questions that your target demographic or customers or leads have about what it is you do, your industry and your processes and your business and that sort of thing. That's literally the core of what content marketing is, just answering questions. So when a lead calls you or calls your lead manager or your acquisition person or whoever's taking the calls and submitting those questions, they should be writing down every single question. And especially at the end of the day, you sum those up. And if you get, multiple leads ask the same question, do a video on that multiple times, not just once, multiple times in different settings, in the front of different houses, and in different office spaces that you're in, that sort of thing. Have your acquisitions person do a video on it. Have you do a video on it. And that's real hard data. That's literally your leads or your prospects are telling you exactly what they're asking. Yeah. And you're answering that on video for somebody that could be coming right behind them asking the same question. And you're utilizing that as a source and, or a resource. And resources ultimately help build that value in, the lead's mind. So that's the first way. Obviously, there's tools out there that you can use, the Google Keyword Planner. You go to YouTube and, search what are the keywords and stuff like that. That's all hard factual data that you can also, kind of go off of. But another really cool trick, I actually just put a video out on my personal page today, Brent, that I think is super cool way to use this. So obviously, I'm not going to go into the power of ChatGPT and all that stuff, but literally here's what you do. You go to your website, granted, hopefully you have a good website, right? And you have a lot of content on there that you can, you kind of work on this with. But even if you don't, go to other competitors' websites that do similar to what you do. Leave those open, go to ChatGPT, literally prompt ChatGPT and say, I need 25, 50, 100, whatever your number is. I need 25 video topics for social media that I can talk about based on the content and my expertise from my website. Paste your website. It's going to list you all your topics. It will scrape all the content from every page of your website and say, I did this, there was a guy that I was talking to on a consulting call yesterday. I did this live for, and that's the video I put out. And he owns a lumber company, and they've exploded massively. But they sell lumber to, I thought it would just be investors, but he sells it to consumers as well that are doing special projects and that sort of thing. And I was like, well, let's create two different segmented lists because those are two different demographics, right? And so we went to one portion of his website that was specific to the consumer and one that was specific to the business owners, and it spit out completely different topics. Now, obviously, you're going to critique those a little bit and that sort of thing, make it work for you.
Are you on a computer right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Pull up my website.
Let's go.
So go joehomebuyerarizona.com, and then you're putting that into ChatGPT.
Okay, so here's what we'll do.
Awesome. Yep.
Okay, so here's what we'll do, Brian. So we're going to take, literally just copy. Yeah. We got all this content here, right? So all this, all the way top to bottom, then you got all these tabs. And if you really wanted to get, really nitty gritty with this, then you can open up some competitors. But here's what I'm going to do. So let's just say it's 25 topics. Give me 25 topics for video content for social media based on the content from my website. Oh, hold on. Website. Okay.
Yeah.
Paste your website, boom. And then what it's going to do is it's going to scrape your entire website and then base all of these on what it is that you do. So, obviously, like typically it's going to give you some basic stuff. And if you really wanted to go really nitty gritty, you could start listing, you could start going to, different tabs on your websites or different resource pages, or you have an FAQ, let's click on this one. Right. So now it's going to I could paste this website, but we come back here and now we have all this. But like, here's the thing, like, for instance, I'm not going to do a video if I'm trying to generate leads to real estate tips and tricks. You can obviously kind of like critique it to what is going to work for you. Some of the stuff's going to be basic, but this is a really good one.
You could say, give me 100 topics and then pick the ones that are client focused. This is awesome.
Right. Like, this is a great example, Brett. So one of the top searched key phrases when it comes to selling a house for sale by owner is what a cash offer is. Because most people that aren't familiar with selling to a cash buyer think, maybe a cash offer is like, are they showing up to the closing table with a bag of cash? Like, that's a really good way to do it. And then on the example that I gave with this guy that I was on the call with, there was a piece of jargon that I think it was a certain type of lumber. And I said, well, that's a jargon that I don't even know what type of lumber that is. That's a video topic too, right? So hard factual data that you can get to create topics, and you don't even have to.
That is a great. So, okay. So then you turn your phone around, you go through, and how long of a video do you make?
So based off of that, now I won't share my screen again, but here's another piece of like advice I would give you based off of let's pretend that you've done exactly what we just showed you.
Yep.
Now what you can do is go back to that same prompt and say, give me, based on the content of my website, give me 3 to 4 bullet points per topic that I can talk about in video. Mm-hmm. And now here's the thing, Brent, like people automatically think like if I'm on video, I got to create scripts and stuff like that. To me, I've personally shot videos with over 250 real estate investors over the last, 10 years plus.
Yep.
There's only one person that I can point to that said actually was able to read off a teleprompter with a script and well and conveyed enthusiasm, right? We're talking about enthusiasm multiple times. You talked about on my podcast. It's hard to maintain that when you're reading off a script. So create your bullet points. And guys, this is what post-production video editing is for. You get a point out, talk about it, just the way you would talk to a seller if they were asking you the question themselves. You're on camera, and then you stop, think about your next statement, look back at the camera, start talking again. Then a video editor is going to get in, chop out the dead space and any screw-ups that you make it one congruent video, and you put it out that way. So here's the way that you kind of do it is just, set yourself up. Obviously we're assuming you're starting from square one. So iPhones are fantastic video recording devices nowadays. There's really easy ways to be able to enhance audio and that sort of thing. You could use a lavalier mic or whatever. So, get good audio. That's important. Turn the camera around, start talking and make it happen.